All right, let's get to our next guest here. Brought to you by the folks at OGIO Power Sports. Pulp 15 is the code to save with OGIO. Roller bags, backpacks, all of it. Thank you to the folks at OGIO. We had Levi Kitchen on. He swept the race in St. Louis. We have the other guy that swept for his first win of the year, and it was super cool, popular win as well. Nice to see him get that done. Eli Tomac, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Just
good.
Chilling at home right now. Yeah, gonna take a couple of days off, and that's about it.
Thanks for the time. Appreciate it. I want to know, I guess, first off, checking the results and texting people, like you guys were kind of on the line before we knew that Jett was for sure docked. Did you know way earlier what you needed to do? Like, how did that go down for you?
Well, I guess we didn't really know. I didn't know until I was basically on the starting line, the points, the actual spread. So Coker ran up to me when I was like literally picking my gate and then showed me the point spread. So I didn't know what the penalty, whether it was going to be 2 points or 4 points or whatever, whatever the penalty was going to be. I knew once we got to picking that he was docked because Hunter was right behind me, and obviously he wasn't, he wasn't right behind me. But, like I said, I was literally on the gate, and then he showed me, hey, you have a 3-point gap on him now. So,
yeah, because I was refreshing, texting Pelletier. I'm like, these guys got to know what they need to do before. It makes all the difference in the world to know that you have to beat Jett or you don't or whatever, So So I guess it was late, but we did get it. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right. Got it. Listen, I think you've been riding really well lately, qualifying wise, and some of the heats were really good. Even the one that but the starts in your main event starts were no good. And then your fake start in St. Louis was no good, and I'm like, oh shit, oh well. And then you pulled it. You pulled them all. You got back to where you needed to be. Did you change much on starts?
I didn't change much on starts, and I said before is I haven't figured it out exactly what was happening. I've obviously been showing some inconsistency with them.
Yep.
So that's that, man. Yeah, it's hard to say exactly. What the difference is. Yep.
Yeah, because whatever it was, you nailed them all 3 times, and you could have done much better at the other races had you gotten starts, right? So,
this is definitely true. Yes, if I would have put myself in better position.
Yeah.
Like in Seattle, I probably would have done better. It's just I was so far back in Seattle at the start. It was horrible.
And then you told us at the press conference you've been battling an ankle injury.
Yeah, so after Daytona, it's a weird thing because I think I did it literally just dabbing in a corner at home, and then it kind of just crept in on me and was just getting worse the more I was practicing and the more I was hitting whoops and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One of my tracks at home, I've got 2 sets of whoops and a dragon, and I was riding that track around that time, and I think it irritated it more after I had the foot dab.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it was getting a little bit worse, and I didn't really think about it or thought it would just get better, but I had to take real time off during the week for it to get better. And that's what I did this last week is I didn't even ride here at home. I did some starts and a couple of sprint laps to get the inflammation out of my ankle. It was just an ankle sprain, but I needed to take time off, and I wasn't doing that those first couple weeks. And I was struggling on the weekend straight up. My range of motion, I'd lost the range of motion. I couldn't weight the peg right. I was probably, I don't know, a 30-70 weight bias on my feet in the whoop. So it was messing me up.
And that was your Achilles? Is that your one from last year as well? The one you did your Achilles on, Eli?
No, it's the opposite foot.
Oh, great.
Could you have told us idiots in the media, Tomac, at any point? I mean, we're sitting here, we're having referendums about you.
It's a need-to-know basis.
We're having hour-long discussions about Eli Tomac.
Well, that's the thing is I didn't know what to blame some of these poor finishes on, whether it was the start or the foot.
Okay.
So I didn't want to make up all the excuses. So I don't know.
Okay.
Like, finally, I had to say something. But I can't stand being that guy that's like whining and complaining every weekend. You know, if something doesn't go my way.
Yeah, I mean, I get that point too. Yeah.
Eli, I'm gonna ask you. I've been around for a while. You've been around for a while. Last year, your starts were on point on the new bike, and then this year it's kind of like so hit or miss. But how, like, between you and I, how do you go from not even being in the ballpark to being okay? You're 3 in a row this past weekend. You know. Like where does it come from? What changes? You know.
Well, I was messing around with different body position because I was getting kind of lost, and then at one point we even had a start map in, so I was flip flopping between start maps. So, like this week, I was like no start map, so that was good. What else?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's no start map because you're taking too much power away because it's pretty tacky on the other side. I mean, getting bogged down. I mean, because Anderson had the same thing. He told me this past week because his starts were so bad, he was using a start map, and then it was taking away too much power. So then he just stopped using the start map, and that's when his starts came back around at Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So, it's just crazy how it's just like a light switch.
Yeah, it's tough to say, man, but all I know is I'll take it, and I hope I keep those going.
Has it been the most frustrated? I mean, has this been the most frustrated you've been in a long time? How's the anger level and all of that with you on taking this long to get a win? How's it been?
I was to the point where I was kind of past frustration and was just kind of lost, and then you're like really wondering, have I completely lost it? You know, and then you're kind of just depressed. So I was getting just kind of down in general. I was almost past the mad stage and just getting in depression. So I needed to put up this result. That's for sure.
It seemed like the last couple of weeks you came out in qualifying and you're like, watch this, like we know you go out early, you want to get your arms pumped up a little bit and then get into that. But it seemed to me like you were like trying to make a statement like, I'm still good, everybody. You know?
Yeah. And I have been feeling really good in qualifying. Yeah. And even the heat. Yep.
I mean, you've won a lot, Eli, right?
Are you asking for advice, Phil, on how you can win?
No.
Or
that ship's fucking sailed.
Okay.
That's long gone. But this win that you had this past Saturday, and like I said, you've won a lot. You've come back after your shoulder injuries. You've done a shit ton of winning since then. But this one after last year and going through the ringer the first couple, 8-9 rounds and not winning, and then finally getting this one, where does this one rank of all your, how many you got now? 50, how many?
51?
50, holy
52?
fuck, dude.
Okay,
yeah. So that sigh of relief of crossing the finish line, I mean, how was that compared to all the other ones? Because when you're clicking them off, you just take them for granted, right? I would assume. Not like I've won, but...
Well, a little bit, but at the same time, I guess the biggest... I don't know if I can really rank it.
Yep.
It was just a goal that I had, on the list, and I wanted to achieve it, was, hey, I can come back from this injury and still get a win. But as where it stacks, it's hard to put it in a specific position. Yeah.
Eli Tomac on the show, brought to you by the folks at OGO Power Sports. Pulp 15 is the code to save. I do have a question, and Eli, I was asking, so after practice, I texted somebody who has Dartfish, and I'm like, hey, man, after the Supercross triple, 3-2, 3 over the big, and 3 over the big, and 1, is that the fastest way? And they said, yep, it's the fastest way to do it by a little bit. And I'm like, okay. And then you're out there winning everything by going big to big. What was the thought process behind that?
Okay, so the thought process for that is I was out of the ruts the whole way.
Okay.
If you obviously, everyone was going 3, and then the guys that were going 2, after the 2, you would line in the 250. Most of the lines that the 250s were taken.
Okay.
And it just got more rutted up. So I didn't want to take the risk of missing the rhythm, even though I was maybe giving up a tenth or 2.
Yeah. Okay.
For me, the consistency was the benefit over that. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, I know he can do that. He's capable of it, but he's not doing that. So, and
I was trying it in the third qualifier.
Yep.
I was trying it, and I did it a few times, but I knew I could do the 3 all the way down every single lap.
And then I'm guessing. And then Phil, we were talking earlier in the show. Phil thinks that you saw that red cross right at the last minute, second even.
I saw it late. Yep, I saw that sucker late. Mm-hmm.
It looked like you were about to boost that finish line, and then it was like last second you rolled out of it, you know? And then like you even happened to look back over your shoulder to make sure someone behind you didn't jump the finish line because you didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that was a good eye. You were pretty much the only one.
I was lucky to catch it. That's for sure. You know, the fact that 5 other dudes, got the penalty for it. So
it definitely was a turning point for a few guys for sure. And we just talked to Levi Kitchen, and we were talking about the 9 whoops, no dragon backs. I like how Eli
he's
says
still
he still has a dragon back.
Yeah. Because Eli's a fucking man. He's just like he's probably like it should be out there. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Coop was on our show a few weeks ago, and he said, I would have loved to have known that before I had hit 2 dragon backs every single day in the off season. But I guess Eli's still hitting dragon backs. But anyways, the question, 9 whoops, no dragon backs. I mean, this does not help you. What are your thoughts on these things that they're doing to keep you guys safer? What do you think about it?
I guess my first question is do we have statistics on people crashing after the 9th whoop?
They say they do. Yeah, they say
they do?
12, 13 whoops they've said, I didn't see it, but they told me were dangerous.
It would be nice to see that, like a real number, and then I could like make my case, but I'm not a fan of it, period. And I could go on and on. Like if we're going to start going down this rabbit hole, like they should ban 90-degree left hand, first turns.
Yeah.
Those are dangerous. Everyone gets jacked up. It's a bummer because it's limiting elite riders from being elite, in my opinion. And this is the top. This is the top. This is AMA Supercross. Like I think it's an obstacle that you should have to deal with. Even though it could be a little bit more dangerous, I guess.
Yeah, no one's saying blitz off the dragon back. If you're not comfortable,
don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's full option.
Yeah.
So
it's unfortunate for sure. I think. Like I said, I could go down the rabbit hole. In my opinion, get rid of the 90-degree left-hand starts, man. They're a disaster.
Listen, they told me they have data, and I'm like, okay, and then they have data on loader whoops versus dozer whoops, and I'm like, okay, but like you said, Eli, let's see it, I guess.
But I mean, like everyone references the Dragons back to
Nashville
with Barsha and a few, but like, dude, Bam could hit a Dragons back blindfolded and be okay, just like one instant where it pegged him, you know what I mean? Like I just dude, I could whoops and Dragons have pegged me too, but that's just unfortunately, yes, that is part of it, and there's some rhythm sections that are gnarly that should be fixed but they don't get fixed. So I just think that's flawed. It's a bad thing.
It's flawed. I'm on the same page.
Well, I mean, Eli, Phil broke his wrist in a long section of whoops made with a loader in Oakland.
That was on me. And I should have blamed Levi for that because Levi fucked me. But other than that, it's just like that was part of it. I had to pay the due on that.
Okay.
You know?
I know.
I don't know.
I'm with you guys. Like, listen, I'm just sitting in the press box. But, it's Supercross. It's dangerous. It's just dangerous.
Eli, I fucking hate 3-ins, okay? I will not. If there's $1 million bag in a rhythm at the end of it and Phil, you got a 3-in, I'm not 3-ing in. Okay, I don't care, but they're not going to change that for me.
Right.
I still got to deal with it and go the slow way around the fucking corner.
Hey, Eli, Phil told us earlier.
Here's another thing.
Okay, go ahead.
One more point on the 9 whoop thing. I don't like it how it's like a guarantee that you can get in and out of them in 2 hits.
Yeah, I agree.
With the jump combo.
Yeah.
Because the triple is just it's a 2 hit and you're out.
Yeah.
Like quads are a lot harder in the whoops, but the fact that we can just 3 through them that easy is another reason. Like the 9 whoop thing is a disaster in my opinion.
I mean, how about 10? Like if you literally added 1 whoop,
so they have to single out.
It would change something
or do something.
It would change it. It would.
It would change
be
the
way
whole
harder to quad out.
dynamic of the
There would
rhythm.
be some more of a negative. Even though Jett was pulling me with the little skim and the little jump this weekend.
Yeah.
Still, most of the time, once there's a goat trail down it, you just jump in and out twice, and that's it. They're over.
100%. But you know who probably loves it? Coop. Coop's probably over there like he's probably paying these guys on the back end. Like, hey, guys, just hook me up.
DeCoster loves it. I guarantee you DeCoster loves
everyone it. Everyone at pull every weekend.
Everyone at the Austrian brand probably loves the 9 whoops.
Eli, this is how much Phil hates 3 in. The rhythm that we just talked about after the Supercross triple. He said he was inside roll, double triple.
Eli, I would don't fucking wow me. I would land off the Supercross triple, go tight inside, go roll 2, 2, 3, 3 single.
Hey, sometimes those work. I was doing one of those in Indy.
Yeah, in Indy, you go inside roll double. Yeah, that's pretty crafty.
I wasn't going outside and 3ing into that, dude. I'm out. I'm out. But I do want to. I'm gonna change it for me from getting pegged here. When you were behind Jett and you were hunting him down, and you guys yarded Coop? What was that? First main? Second main. Second main. Yeah.
Because AP was on.
Yeah. And you guys pulled away from Coop and everybody. How was that speed when you were latched onto him?
It was just. For me, it was just a good, normal race pace. But I was slower in the whoops. That's where he was getting me, was on those end zone, like those 290s. He was getting me in there with the whoops. So, and he was really good after whoops in that 90 and then jumping across the start. I was losing a lot of time, but everywhere else, I would consider it like normal sprint pace.
Eli, reflecting on that.
We were ripping, for sure. We were ripping.
Reflecting on when you look back at the race like that, when you notice where you're slower in those 290s, what's your mindset like moving forward to the next weekend to try and like adapt to that?
Well, it's just trying to improve on that area. I felt like his bike was turning really good in that 90 after the whoops, and he could accelerate super early. So, that's like something I would try to work on, right? Just working on my acceleration through that 90-degree turn. So.
Eli, it's no secret that your bike's set up the way you like your stuff. Your bike moves a lot more than a lot of people, But I've noticed over time, and now the Honda's Jett's bike is starting to move a lot more in the shock and in the forks, kind of going the way KYB and the way Gilly have your stuff. It looks like Show and the Honda guys are kind of going that way as well, versus where the Austrian brand is still pretty stiff and dead looking. Yeah, it's just crazy to see how the way your bike looks is kind of transferring over into the way other manufacturers are starting to valve and make their stuff look.
I don't know how much, or how I can comment on that, but I know our valving is still gnarly, but I guess at the same time it still moves. So.
Yeah, Villeman's got this thing about your forks on social media, and even when he was in here a month ago, and I'm like, yeah, but he won with this setting, DV. And DV doesn't care because it's Villeman.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's working for him, man. He's won a lot of races. Like, I get it that it goes low in the stroke, but like the guy's making it work. So
I do know that I do run a soft fork compared to.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to say something's normal. It's probably a little bit softer than the usual.
I hear, Eli, maybe some motocross races for you. Obviously, you don't need to break any news tonight, but I kind of hear through the grapevine you might be doing some here and there.
I don't really know yet.
Okay.
Let's just leave it at a maybe.
Okay.
Yep, leave it at a maybe.
All right, fair enough. We do have some phone calls for you, as always, on the show. Joe's on, too. Joe, thanks for calling. What's your question for Eli Tomac?
Hey, so I've always followed your career and watched who you have kept around your camp. And with Coop joining the team, how much of his success have you contributed to Gilly? And then a second part to that question, when Coop's like really on it during qualifying, do you ever just pull Gilly aside and just tell him, hey, throw him off a click or two?
Wait, okay, so what was your first question about Coop and Gilly and the bike?
Yeah, so the first question was, Gilly being your guy and bringing Coop onto the team, was that something that you were kind of concerned with, kind of sharing that knowledge with Coop, or how much of his success would you contribute to Gilly?
Yeah. Here's the thing is I know I'm quite a bit heavier than Cooper, so I'm not super concerned like he can use the exact same stuff as me. So
okay.
I'm not super worried about like valving or, spring rate being identical. I mean, once you are on the same team though, you know what geometry everyone's running, triple clamp, all that stuff. But another thing too, in the 450 class, most of the guys kind of set up the bikes for them. So, but yeah, that's just what you got to deal with, man. Like when an elite guy like Cooper comes to the team, Gilmore's knowledge is going to have to be shared, no matter what with them. So it's just how the game is, really.
Yep. Yeah. And then one more question. Hey, when you're going past that mechanics area, everybody was catching the inside of that over that double. What makes you just completely destroy that outside berm? Is it just trying to gain speed, or is it just, you were just laying it over in that thing?
Well, it was kind of like the thought process of the rhythm. It was, I knew I can just blast this berm every lap. I'm not going to make a mistake by trying to go inside and push the edge of the tire. So just rip the berm, and then I was able to land inside of some bumps on the triple landing. It's to where if you went inside, you would kind of have to fight, your angle off the ramp, and then you were more likely to land into the bumps on the landing. So I could go outside and land inside. That was the reason for ripping that outside.
Gotcha.
Thanks, Joe.
It's amazing to see. Absolutely. Thanks for coming back, Tomac. You're a true inspiration.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Next up is Michael on 4. What's up, Michael? What's your question for Eli Tomac?
Hi. First, I want to say congratulations, Eli. I know you mentioned you had questioned whether coming back was worth it, but I'm here to tell you, I think I speak for everyone when the races are always better when you're on the gate. And congratulations on the win. But I just wanted to ask, what was the hardest part about coming back from an Achilles injury, specifically for Supercross? And was it what you expected to be the hardest part, or did something kind of take you by surprise?
The hardest part with the Achilles is getting a heel raise done. So it's just standing on the ball of your foot and going up to your toes. And that took a while. And I was pretty worried about how I was going to be able to place my foot on the peg. But there's a certain point where it does come around, but it takes months. Like it takes, oh my gosh, it was like month four, like 4.5 months down the road before I could do a heel raise, maybe 5, somewhere in there. So that was a little bit nerve wracking in making the decision, because I did have to make the decision, to race and signed with Yamaha before that point, and you're still just rehabbing and hoping all that stuff does heal the right way.
Do you have a standard boot, or did they fix you up a little bit with some stuff that helps?
I will say it's slightly stiffer now.
Okay.
Just bending back and forth, and then my booty's a little bit bigger, just because the back of my Achilles is thick. When you tear your Achilles, your tendon grows back really thick, so your foot kind of grows.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yep. Eli, as you get older, I've talked to many motocrossers who get older, and then they're off the bike training. They almost kind of slow it down a little bit. Like Phil, you talked about this in the live show where you can't bury yourself during the week anymore like you used to, Yeah. And Eli is obviously one of the best physically conditioned guys in our sport. But I'm wondering, Eli, do you do as much off the bike as you used to? Have you backed that down a little bit to prioritize rest?
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
I think back to what I was doing before, and that's exactly how it goes. You can bury yourself, in your late teens and your early 20s.
Yeah.
But once you're late 20s and early 30s, you got to back it down and you got to listen to your body more, or else, you'll go over the top. Yep.
Yeah, but doesn't it make you feel like a pussy a little bit though? It's just like, you used to be able to, you could handle, on a hard week, you can handle a 15-hour training week, what I mean, without racing. And then all of a sudden you get into racing and this and that, and then you get older. It's just like, a hard week now without racing is like, man, 10, 11 hours. And I'm like, man, I can't do it. And then during the weeks, like I can't handle riding back-to-back days on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. Like if I could really ride Monday and Wednesday, it'd be a lot better. Like I can't handle it anymore. Like, and it's
so then it gets you mad because you.
It actually get, because obviously I don't have Eli's talent, and like to ride a dirt bike, but I did work, hard with Jamar and Osho, and I still put in a lot of time to make up for it in other ways. And like, now that I can't do it, like it's kind of fucking depressing,
Well, and one thing I don't do now is like the extracurricular activities.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to do my work and then go play golf.
Yeah.
Or, go on the surf boat or something. Now it's like,
you're on the couch.
No, I did my work. I have to go home and rest.
Yeah, same. Yeah, you almost have to rest harder now than you actually train, like you said, after Seattle, you didn't ride last week, well, because your ankle or whatever, but like after Seattle, I had such a meltdown because of the shitty race, but I didn't ride last week either. The first time I rode was press day, like I just need to be like, hey dude, I'm fucking out, like it's.
So Eli, are you doing more mountain than road or road than mountain bike? What is kind of, what do you do more of?
Yeah, I'm mountain. I did some like flat road stuff, obviously, when I was first coming back.
Yeah.
From my Achilles thing, just to not, get sketchy or load my foot weird. But I'm mountain 99% of the time.
Oh, really? 99, huh? Okay. All right.
Yeah. Like I ride up fire roads and stuff, but it's like not all single track. But I'm still on my mountain bike. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, you guys didn't see it, but there's a day when we were out at the test track, and he showed up, and he just looked like he got the crap beat out of him. And I'm like, dude, what happened? And he's like, yeah, I just had a crash.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
I went over my bark bad on the San Juan Trail out there in SoCal. It really smashed my face. Yeah.
It's like, dude, are you good?
10 days. It was like 10 days before A1. I'm like, dude, that was sketchy. Like, I photojacked myself on the mountain bike. Yeah, it was
I mean, look, you can always get hit by a car, but I mean, that is a risk of mountain stuff, right? Like breaking collarbones, like all day long. You could go down and break a collarbone. Yeah. So, I don't know.
I've had some cartwheels on a mountain bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's lighter is better. You don't want to wear a whole lot of shit or whatever.
Yeah.
Got this little rinky-dink helmet on, but you come down some of those hills in SoCal and stuff. You
what's the one that Don always does? The Skyline.
Well, Skyline's easy. That's flat. But you come down ITT.
No, but I've heard there's a backside of Skyline.
On the down.
Yeah.
I heard it's insane.
Yeah, I'm out on that. Like, I'll get off and walk my bike.
Phil's a big hike a bike.
Yeah, I'm bad with that. So, like, Eli, how many hours can you put in now? Like, when you're off-season training,
he's not going to tell you.
What?
Eli is
Eli doesn't.
He didn't tell us about his ankle. I want all those worrying conversations about Eli Tomac back.
Eli doesn't give a fuck.
Okay.
Eli, in the off season, what's a big week, like hourly week? Because I know what Jamar does. You know how many hours Jamar puts in. Like, what do you do? Like how many hours?
Oh.
Like, what's a big week?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
He's not telling. I told you. Bullshit. He doesn't. He's very secretive. He doesn't want to share this shit.
I don't know. Yeah. This is classified information.
See,
Jamar will tell you he's trained with me. So there you go.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna ask this. Okay, we're gonna get off moto real quick.
Yeah. He'll be like, yeah, I smoked him on a mountain bike, dude. I can destroy him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Can you hang with Jamar on a mountain bike or what?
I can out sprint him, but if it's more than like a 2-minute sprint, Jamar goes bye-bye.
Okay. Yeah.
Is Jamar still an animal? Still? Like,
he's still a sick fuck.
Yeah.
He's unreal. The power and the numbers that Jamar can put out is like, you'd have to say, Eli, that Jamar's probably the roundabout. I mean, he is the strongest cyclist that we have in our sport.
Yeah, cyclist. Yep.
Yeah.
Really? Huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah, hands down. Yep. Like, if he wanted to, he could go be. Yeah,
he could do it.
UCI World Cup stuff.
Really? Huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I used Eli in his secretive nature as an example a little while ago. Someone was, the Jett stuff and around San Diego and everyone's piling on Jett and booing him and all this, and I go, look, man, if you're gonna put yourself out there with donuts and press conferences and all this, you're gonna get hate. I said, you don't want hate? Be like Tomac. I said, post a photo, say, thanks, San Diego, see you next week. Like, there's no training photos. There's no, here's what I ate for breakfast. There's nothing. Be like Eli Tomac, and you'll just never, no one will say anything. So,
well, yeah, just live by the sword, die by the sword, right?
Yeah,
no, you're right.
Yeah. And I tell people that. Look at Tomac's social, man. He's posting some photos for sponsor stuff, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And that's fine, you know? So,
yeah.
That's how I roll.
Yeah, but Eli, okay, from a marketing standpoint, okay, obviously Jett sponsors me, and I'm friends with Jett. I'm friends with Coop. Like, from a marketing
Jett sponsors you?
Yeah, Jets and Donuts athlete, man.
Yeah, he actually gets money. He runs a donut sticker. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's good kid. Gives me money. I can't talk too much shit. I mean, I will talk shit on him, but like for you, like obviously you're a world-class athlete. And obviously you're very quiet, you're very reserved. No one knows much about what you do. I mean, you're a family guy, this, that. Do you think it kind of hurt you a little bit with potential sponsors, or do you think salary-wise and sponsorship-wise, I mean, you're pretty much set the cap for the sport on how much an athlete can make, right? And now you have Jett coming in with all this new stuff and all these new promotions and this and that, trying to set a bar of like a new cap of what an athlete can make in motocross. Do you think maybe in your time, maybe you think you missed the mark a little bit, or what? Or are you just okay with being a race winner and going about it and winning championships that way?
That was my mentality, you know. I mean, I'm still that way, you know. Is I feel like I could have made the majority of my income, and that was the easiest way to make my income was just winning races and championships. But it's a big question mark for sure, and I don't know how big those deals could get for us. That's a huge question, man. I don't know. You know, if I would have pushed it harder, you know, how big those deals would have gotten, I have no idea.
Yeah, okay.
There's a lot of mystery around you.
For us, though, winning the 450 class is by far the easiest way to make money in our sport.
No, agreed.
But it's not easy to win the 450 class.
Yes, no, 100%.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Phil,
but
in case you're wondering, Phil.
Yeah, I know. But it's just like, no, I'm just saying, you know, because no one knows in our sport like what an athlete really makes. Right. It's not like MLB. So like Eli's pretty much, he set the cap for like in our sport at the moment on who makes the most money. It's Eli, you know. But now you have Jett bringing in all this other stuff with VIP and recognition and all whatever it is. You know what I mean? I'm just wondering if Eli was thinking, maybe if he would have done the marketing side, kind of like Coop. Like Coop's more of just like Eli, a racer, championship guy.
Yep.
Like if he would have done more of that, would he have set the bar a little bit higher? You know, like how do you get a manufacturer, a gear company, or whatever to pay you more when Eli sets? Like, you know, Alpine Stars pays Eli X. Well, how does Jett ask for more than Eli after Eli's already won all these championships and stuff? So I'm just wondering how that all works.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Know?
I just think you have the personality for it and the desire to do it, or you don't. Like, I can't believe Jett and Hunter, they the Friday VIPs they go see. They see him on Saturday. Like, to me, I'm just putting myself in that shit. I wouldn't want to do that. I'm busy. I'm trying to win races. I'm not shitting on them. Good for them.
Yep.
I think that's awesome that they do that, but that would be, to me.
Yeah, it's got to be mentally draining.
Right?
It's got to be.
Yeah, it would be draining, and that's it, right? Is how much can you manage, and how long can you sustain it?
Yeah.
That's a big question mark.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. I appreciate that answer.
Yeah.
A couple more questions before we let you go, Eli. Brought to you by OGO Power Sports. I got two media questions for you. One is, we still laugh, Eli, about you coming out of Twitter retirement for 3 years to blow Zach out.
That's the greatest thing ever.
We loved it, and we still laugh at Zach, and we still say things on Twitter like, dude, be careful. And so can you take us through, like, just coming out of retirement, slapping Zacho and going back into retirement? We loved it.
Okay, so here's the deal with that. I'm actually looking at X right now. That was in June 21st of 23. So I totally remember the day. I was cruising around on my tractor, like
like
moving a hay bale around or something. I don't know what I was doing, but I don't know. And then I took a break. I happened to look at X, and I saw, you know, Zacho's reply there. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I haven't said anything for 3.5 years or like reposted to Instagram. Like, I'm going to fire back.
Eli just instantly fucking triggered.
We loved it. He said he roosted you and he had a better chance to win. But like, you were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's so funny.
We loved it.
Yeah, I just wanted to make my opinion. I'm like, okay, I'm going to fire one back. And just, of course, it was. So, no, and it was me. Everyone's like, no way it was him. Like, he's never on there.
Yeah.
It was me. Like, I'm just a lurker.
We laugh about it, and it provided us, and it still provides us with great laughter that you just came in for 3 years, blew him out, and left again. We loved it.
I think it's so funny. He's out on the tractor. Like, normally, like, yeah, you're a husband, you got kids, you go out, you ride your tractor to get away from your family and stuff, and you go cruise around with a Coors Light. Eli's out there, opens up X, and just like, you know what, I'm going to blow this fucker out right now real quick. Hold on.
And Zach was still like, I don't know what I did. Zach's still like paranoid about it. So you've really put it in his brain. He will forever probably never comment on you on X ever again. Like that, you've done it to him.
Well, I have no problem with it. I wanted to state my case too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, if you're gonna, I say that all the time. We in the media or on X, we're accountable. You know, we can't just. We deserve to get called out. And so speaking of that, Lewis Phillips, our buddy from Vital, he said he had a very rough interview with you at press day. You don't seem to be a fan of him. He's a little worried now that you're gonna maybe beat him up. So is there problems with Lewis here, Eli?
Okay, so this once again it came down to the starts. It was all about the starts. Okay.
Yeah.
So he started with, the question is like why are your starts more inconsistent this year compared to last year? You know, what changed? Blah blah blah. And I basically told him like what I told you guys earlier, like nothing's really changed. I'm not sure. I'm just more inconsistent with it.
Yep.
And I tried to get straight to the point, of what I thought about it.
Yep.
But this is my opinion. It's like he kept digging about it, like digging farther into the question. I'm just like, I don't know what else to say. There's nothing else to say.
Phil asking for the training load.
Other than if I could figure it out, then I would have it figured out. But I don't have it figured out, so I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he kept going, so I just basically stopped answering the questions. The last 2 questions, I said like one word for each question.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But there's nothing other than that. Like it's fine.
I mean, I just went over the top. Like my blood started boiling. Like,
okay.
Like, I can't say anything else,
Yeah.
He just went mute, basically fuck off. You should have just told him to fuck off and he would have been okay with it, The fact he probably just went silent, ate at him even more.
He said he thought you were like looking into his soul. He was
I kind of was.
Fucking those Brits, man.
He's next up on Twitter. He's got a target on
his back. He couldn't understand Eli's social cues that he was getting. No, wasn't there.
Like, hey man, stop asking questions about the starts. We're done. Like, no, listen, I've been there too. Like, I'm not saying, I've had guys not like me and not answer questions, and I'm like, okay, moving on. So it happens.
Anyway,
yeah. Okay, good to know. All right, anything else for Eli before we let him go?
No, it's just cool to see you get your win back.
It was. Yeah. How about those fans, dude? They were loving it.
Nuts.
Yeah, that was cool. That last lap was rad.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. Well, it's awesome to see you get the win. And just tell us about these ankle things if you can. If you drop these things, that'd be great. If you have ankle injuries, maybe come on X and tell us.
I know. But then it's just okay. If it goes on for more than a week, I should say something.
Dude, trust me. No one thinks that you're making excuses. You're Eli Tomac. Nobody, I promise you, no one's like, oh, what a pussy. Like, no one is saying that about you, man. Your rep is solid as one of the gnarliest dudes we've ever seen. If you say you're dealing with something, we all believe you. It's not like Phil making shit up.
No, I don't make don't listen to him, Eli.
But thank you. Thanks for the interview. Congrats on the win. And enjoy the week off, man. Thanks, Eli.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
All right. See ya. All right. That's Eli Tomac, everybody. Brought to you by OGO. That's good. He's really good.
That's good.
You're correct, Phil. Really good questions.
Yeah. He's.
I think racers, they like hearing from racers. You too, Marsh. But not this idiot sitting here. You know. I knew he wasn't giving you the training load. I knew that.
I just wondering, you know,
Dude,
I just
been
what he
asking that question for years.
They lock that stuff down over there on the ranch.
I talked to Jeremiah.
Their days at the test track are pretty incredible.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's like Eli's, 30, 31 now? Like, what are you hiding anymore? It's over. It's not over, but like,
I pitched John a story, John Tomac. I said, hey, I got an e-bike. I got a dirt bike. How about I drive to the ranch and we do a funny video story? I try to train with Eli. I try to keep up with the program. I'm going to die, but that'll be the funny video. And, you know, I don't need to know anything, but I want to follow Eli. I got an e-bike and I got a dirt bike. I'll try to ride 30-minute motos. I don't know. John was not interested, not having that. No chance.
It's just funny because, like, Osho in general, Eli's dad, are pretty good friends. It's just like, and they've known each other for, how many, 40 years now. So it's not like they don't really know what's going on, you know? So,
right.
But it's just pretty cool to know that Eli, I know his workload's not there like what it used to. It can't be, you know? And I wonder if that's maybe the reason. I don't know. I would like to see him to do all of the outdoors, you know, because I'm sure there'll be like moments like he had this past weekend or at Dallas where he's still in beast mode where he could be strong. So,
well, one more spot for you if he doesn't show up, though, Phil.
Yeah, that's true too.
450. I mean,
so I'm going for it too. I mean,
are you doing 450s?
Yeah, 450 outdoor, no 450 SMX.
I mean, listen.
You have to lock in.
I've seen Eli at his best. I've raced him at his best, and it's crazy.
Outdoors is probably more impressive than Supercross, right? Like
I'll still never forget 2015 Hangtown. We were out there. He lapped Weston and I. We were 7th and 8th.
Was that the Geico Honda?
Yeah, Geico Honda. He yarded us. And then the following weekend, I'm racing Bam for 2nd and 3rd, and we got on the box. And Eli was just nowhere to be seen. A minute ahead. I thought Bam and I were going to go 1-2, but we're 2-3. Eli's just out there. Unless you're out there, it's next level what he would do, you know.
Absolutely. Crowd was cool this weekend to see it. They were
that's rad.
Thanks to the folks at OGO for bringing on Eli Tomac. Pulp15 is the code to save. Michelin as well. Thank you to folks at Michelin. Did you guys hear about Randy Richardson? He's doing Loretta's. Did you guys hear about this?
Is he? Plus 50? Masters? Must be Masters. Yeah.
Surprised you don't know that. Everyone else does. The new Michelin Starcross 6 tire range. It's great. It's fantastic. I got these on my Blue Crew bike as well. And thanks to Michelin Silica technology, the Michelin Starcross 6 tire range provides up to 11% more durability. Whether it is sport bikes, whether it's cruisers, whether it is a dirt bike, whether it's a mountain bike, they make tires for you, cars as well. MichelinMan.com/motorcycle to learn more about the Michelin motorcycle tire options.